about this brand new helicopter. This aircraft marks a new era for our helicopter unit. This Bell 429 is the first step in modernizing our aging helicopter fleet. The 429 is a dual-engine helicopter capable of cruising at 174 miles per hour. We ensured that this helicopter would be here for the upcoming Democratic National Convention to assist in securing our city from the air around the areas of the convention, as well as keeping eyes on activity citywide. I cannot stress enough the importance of this helicopter in our public safety efforts during the DNC and for years to come. Our current helicopter fleet includes helicopters that have been in service since 1993. Due to the age of the helicopters and the maintenance needed to keep these operational, we knew this was an important investment to make. This helicopter is faster and allows us to be more flexible in responding to incidents and conducting missions that include search and rescue and casualty evacuation. It's giving us an advantage when tracking suspects, so our officers in the helicopter can relay information to officers on the ground. We frequently rely on helicopters during robbery and vehicular hijacking missions, allowing us to address these crimes in a safer, more efficient manner. In addition to this Bell 429, we have 2 Bell 407 helicopters arriving by the end of the year. With these helicopters, we will also be able to expand our helicopter operation with a 21st century fleet. I personally got the opportunity to take a ride in the helicopter. It was a great experience. Just seeing the city, the entire city, from an aerial view, and being able to get from one end of the city to the next was just incredible. Before I introduce the mayor, I'd just like to thank everyone who was involved here in helping us procure this helicopter. We got it before the DNC as we promised, so I'd like to thank Bell for working really hard on getting that done. I'd also like to thank everybody who's been working behind the scenes to ensure that this helicopter got to us as quickly as it did. With that, I'd like to now introduce the mayor of the city of Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Thank you, Superintendent Snelling, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's truly an honor to be with everyone this morning. I do want to give a special shout out before I get too far off into my remarks to our students from Air Force Academy High School who are joining us today. Let's give a nice round of applause to our cadets, Jesus Tapia, Rebecca Silva, AJ Rabaka, Ade Tiala Balogun, Carolina Olivares. You can tell I used to be a high school teacher in Chicago. That's pretty impressive. And of course, our Air Force Academy High School principal, Galvin Remus. Let's give them all a nice round of applause again. I'm also grateful to be joined by 2 members of our City Council, Alderman Matt O'Shea and Alderman Brian Hopkins. Thank you both for your leadership and your presence, and of course, your commitment and dedication to the people of Chicago. This is an exciting day for the city. It's a step forward in our journey to achieve a much safer Chicago. Today, we unveil the Chicago Police Department's newest helicopter, the department's first new helicopter since 2007. As we are excited to announce, as Superintendent Snelling has already expressed, that by the end of the year, we plan to obtain 2 more helicopters, bringing CPD's fleet to a grand total of 4 helicopters, ensuring that the department has the necessary resources to serve and to protect the great people of this fine city. As Superintendent also Snelling described, helicopters provide additional support to our ground units, as well as enhances the capabilities of our officers. This is a testament to our commitment to investing in tools and technologies that help the police department solve crimes, reduce response times, and to provide true safeguards for our communities. CPD helicopters are particularly helpful when it comes to monitoring crowds and large-scale events. The addition of this helicopter comes at an ideal time as we look forward to hosting the Democratic National Convention in the upcoming week. Let me be clear though, we are ready to host the best DNC in the history of Chicago and the best DNC in the history of the world. Chicago is a pro at hosting conventions. We're the best at it. We're really good at securing and making sure that large-scale events like NATO, NASCAR, and Lollapalooza run smoothly. We have been readying our city for this moment since the DNC was announced. Our city departments and employees have been hard at work, doing the work of the people, painting, repaving, and cleaning and greening our neighborhoods. The new CTA Damon Green Line, this station opened just in time for our delegates to get them to and from their respective spaces. But more importantly, this Green Line station will serve to uplift the West Side, which everybody knows is the best side. Okay, I didn't get one witness there. There's got to be at least thank you, Chief Talley. I knew it was coming eventually. But over the past year, the city has closely collaborated with federal partners to prepare and safeguard visitors and residents alike. We have layers of safety plans in place and deep coordination with CPD, OEMC, FBI, and the U.S. Secret Service. And now with the addition of this helicopter, we are that much more ready to host a safe, successful Democratic National Convention. I'm proud that we are making this important investment in our community. That's what I promised to do, and that's what I'm doing. And whether it's promising to hire 200 more detectives, and we are on the path to do that, whether it's to promise to make sure that we have the tools and technologies to ensure a safe city, which we are doing that, and whether it's the $1.25 billion investment for economic and neighborhood development, the largest investment in the history of Chicago for the West and South Sides, my administration is moving with expediency to fulfill the promise and the hopes and dreams of our ancestors. Finally, I want to express my profound gratitude for the CPD, to the city leaders who did everything in their power to ensure that we would be able to secure this helicopter for our city. I look forward to our continued collaboration to achieve lasting peace and safety for Chicago. I'm especially looking forward to the DNC that's going to start just in a couple of days. So Chicago, our arms are wide open, the place of innovation, the place where Carnegie Steel transformed our world, the place where the Model T, Henry Ford, transformed how families got to and from. This is the city where electricity came to life at the World Fair. And this will also be the city that makes history yet again with quantum computing. So God bless you all. God bless the greatest freaking city in the world. And I need some help lobbying the First Lady so I can ride in this helicopter. Thank you all. With that, we'll take questions.
Good morning, Mayor. I'm Bernie Tafoya from WBBM News Radio. As you know, political conventions are all about image. And I want to know what you hope that the city's image is to people all across the country and the world is, and what you fear could be the image of the city after all this is over.
Well, let me just start with the easy part, the most obvious part, is that I'm not afraid of anything. You know, to be afraid is an ungodly spirit. And the reason why I can walk in confidence is because we have the full force of government that has worked collaboratively to make sure that the DNC is safe and vibrant. And look, we're really good at this. In fact, here's the part that's actually fascinating to me. This is not the largest event that we are hosting. We've actually hosted larger scale events. And so I'm very confident that we'll be able to pull that off, as we always have. I mean, as far as how the world will perceive us, we are the capital city of the world. This is the place where a black Haitian immigrant fell in love with a Potawatomi woman, set up trading posts at the banks of the river because they saw the city of Chicago as a global epicenter to transform our world's economy. And that's what the people of the world will ultimately see. As I said, you know, there's one quantum computer in the world. The other one will be right here in the city of Chicago. This is the place where innovation has always come alive. This is the city, of course, that said, keep hope alive. The city that said, yes, we can. It's a city that gave voice to people like Ida B. Wells to transform the way we treat people, particularly black folks. So the short answer is the world will get a chance to experience and see what the people of Chicago have always known. We are truly the greatest freaking place in the world.
Mayor Johnson, Courtney Spinelli with WGN. We're talking about, obviously, the official unveiling of the helicopter this morning. The city initially planned to get 2 new choppers and then added this one. Was it the DNC that pushed for this, or was it this priority to give CPD the resources to continue the work they do every day well beyond the DNC? Because, like you said, this is utilized in robberies, carjackings. Yep. They're up every single night protecting the residents of Chicago. So was the DNC the push to get this, or was it that bigger picture of public safety in the long run?
It was always a priority. It's a bigger picture of public safety. Look, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge again Alderman Hopkins and O'Shea. Look, we've had very substantive conversations about what it means to truly have constitutional policing. And policing alone is not going to transform this city. We have placed too much responsibility on law enforcement. They have to be marriage counselors. They have to be therapists. You know, they're responding to some of the worst experiences and days that our residents have ever had. And the least that I can do as mayor is to make sure that they have the tools that they need to be effective. Now look, you know, the superintendent Stelling, he's a humble man. He's not going to brag. But homicides are down 2 years in a row, double digits. Shootings are down. Look, there's a long way to go. But the fact of the matter is, building a better, stronger, safer Chicago means we have to invest in people. And that's what we're doing. And we're already seeing the returns on those investments.
Hi there, Sandra Torres from NBC and Telemundo. You're talking about the city. You've been saying this for weeks, that the city is ready for the DNC. At the same time, we are seeing businesses board up. A lot of people or businesses are also asking employees to work from home at this time because of concerns for safety. What do you say to those business owners and employees who are concerned about what may happen with the large gatherings surrounding the DNC?
One of the things that's important is that if you can predict something, you can prepare for it. And that's what our superintendent has done. He has a very fine force. But we're also coordinating with Secret Service and other local law enforcement agencies to ensure that we have a vibrant, safe, productive DNC. You know, to assuage people's concerns, the only thing that I can say is we're really good at this. There's a reason why Time Out magazine rated the city of Chicago the best for conventions, because we're good at it. Now, are there individuals out there that want to disrupt the beauty of Chicago? Of course there are. And I can tell you, you know, we have seen some of that behavior in some other parts of the country. You know, we saw what happened on January 6th, right? When you had right-wing extremism who did not want to accept the results of an election and stormed the Capitol. So look, I understand why people might have some trepidation, because you have elements in this world that want to take us back to a very dark path. And they have not accepted the results of the Civil War. And so they are provocating this animus towards justice and democracy. But here's one thing that I know for sure, as a social studies teacher. Our democracy will not only survive, we will come out stronger. And it's going to take all of us to secure a city, but it's not just about this 1 week. This is about how we build a transformative government that works on behalf of these students. That's what it's about. That's who we're fighting for. These black and brown students who are the present and the future of this city. And I'm going to do everything in my power as a father, as a husband, as a resident of this fine city, to ensure that our DNC reflects our values, the soul of Chicago, but more importantly, we make sure that these students at Air Force Academy, that they can see their future.
Mayor Marissa Perlman from CBS Chicago.
That is a fine blazer, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing it today, girl.
When it comes to the number of choppers we'll have here in the city, 6 by year's end, I think that's correct?
4.
4, okay.
Yes.
Retiring
3 new
2.
ones, yes. Listen, helicopters don't age as well as I do. I think the last time we got a helicopter, I was in high school. So I know I look good, but that helicopter just was a hoopty. And we'll have 3 new ones, and we'll be well on our way to, keeping forth on our vision for Chicago.
So LA has 17, Houston has 10. I guess my question is it enough to keep up with our DNC, our all the conventions we're putting on, as well as the crime here in Chicago?
Well, I must say that I'm offended that you would compare Chicago to Los Angeles. I'm just saying there is no comparison. Look, where we started and where we are now, we are further along and better than where we were when I started this job. That's the encouraging news. As far as of what's enough, as I said before, unfortunately, this mindset that policing in and by itself is the way in which we build a stronger society. That's not our approach. My deputy mayor for community safety is here. We're responding to the immediate crisis in our communities while also investing in long-term solutions. The real issue that we have in America, quite frankly, is the fact that we have not had politicians bold enough and say out loud that we have to fight this war on poverty. That's what President Johnson tried to do 60 years ago. President Nixon got in and took on a different approach, war on drugs. And what did it lead to? Mass incarceration. Our communities have not been safer and stronger. But it's a new day in America, and Chicago's leading the way. Helicopters, yes, but we need mental health providers. We need fully funded schools. We need good paying jobs. It's a holistic approach. If it were just helicopters, that probably would make some people's lives easier. But the fact of the matter is, the city of Chicago is prepared to do the hard work. And the hard work is make sure that these young people have a real future.
Mayor Anthony Ponce here from WFLD TV.
No blazer. It's okay.
No blazer.
You step
Sorry.
your game up next time.
I left mine at home. Okay, so we still have a few protesting groups as late as yesterday complaining about lack of access to be within sight and sound of the UC. Also complaining about things and factors like lack of podiums, sound systems, porta potties. They're concerned about their First Amendment rights not being honored. What would you say to those groups?
They don't have to be concerned about their First Amendment rights. They don't have to be. It's fundamental to our democracy. In fact, without the First Amendment, I would not be mayor of the city of Chicago. Mass protest in this country has led to this stage right here. Without mass protest and the protection of the First Amendment, we would not have, the police force is almost 27% women now, is that right? 27% women. We have black and brown leaders throughout this city. That's because of protest. And, you all know what my assignment was before I became mayor of the city of Chicago. I was an organizer. I've led massive demonstrations. And so what the superintendent and I have made very clear, we want to make sure that we protect their rights and make sure that they can do it in a safe way and in an environment that allows their voices to be maximized and heard. As far as staging, microphones, and all of that is being provided. We're working out the details around porta potties. I'm going to make sure that these individuals have everything that they need to make sure that their voices are heard, and their voices are already being heard. Remember, this is the city that condemned the horrific attack against the Israeli people when Hamas terrorized innocent people. But this was also the city that said we have to release hostages and call for a ceasefire. We have done that. Their voices are being heard, and Chicago is leading the way.
Last question. Hey, Mayor, Colin Boyle, Block Club Chicago. Don't even comment. I'm not wearing a blazer.
Listen,
sorry.
I would not even expect you to, but your beard is popping.
Hey, finally.
Keep that up, yeah.
That's tough. All right, got a question from the newsroom. So there are reports that you're going to be speaking at the DNC Monday night. If so, what will your message be about Chicago to this great country here?
So so the newsroom wants me to give you a sneak peek into my 3 minutes and 30-second speech. Yeah. Well, let me just say it like this. It's hard for black folks to trace their ancestry back to the continent. Most of us can trace our ancestry in the South. And my family's from Salis, Mississippi. Less than an hour away from Montgomery County, Mississippi, where Fannie Lou Hamer, another organizer, was born. And to think that the Mississippi delegation, which Fannie Lou Hamer fought for in 1964, finally got their voices heard in '68. Guess where? Right here in the city of Chicago. That the soil of Salis, Mississippi, that led my family north to find a better life on the west and south sides of this city, that took my uncles all the way up to Saginaw, Michigan, that the soil and the ground of Mississippi, the mayor of Chicago has its roots there. And I can't wait to give the Mississippi delegation a true proper welcome, as Salis, Mississippi and Montgomery County, Mississippi are the places in which our voices became that much more pronounced in the Democratic Party, that not only provided voice to the souls of the South, but now will send a voice of the souls of our ancestors. A black woman of Asian descent will be launched to one of the most powerful positions in the world, Kamala Harris. How's that sound? Did I do that in 3 minutes though?
Are you speaking then on Monday?
Well, if I don't, just use this clip and just run it on loop. All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.